Could you tell me if you thought that drugs and alcohol would make me a better writer?
That's a good question. You know, I hate to advocate drugs or liquor, violence, insanity to anyone. But in my case, it's worked.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with inherent and inalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles, and organizing its powers in such forms as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Declaration of Independence, 1776.
I understand that there has been and continues to be opposition to the war in Vietnam on the campuses and also in the nation. As far as this kind of activity is concerned, we expect it. However, under no circumstances will I be affected whatever by it.
This country with its institutions belongs to the people who inhabit it. Whenever they shall grow weary of the existing government, they can exercise their constitutional right of amending it, or their revolutionary right to dismember or overthrow it.
Abraham Lincoln, 1861.
This is The Music. KXYZ-FM Houston, stereo 96.5.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, self-evident, self-evident.
A free government with an uncontrolled power of military conscription is the most ridiculous and abominable contradiction and nonsense that ever entered into the head of man.
Daniel Webster, 1814.
is it written in the Constitution? In what article or section is it contained that you may take children from their parents and parents from their children and compel them to fight the battles of any war in which the folly or wickedness of government may engage it?
Daniel Webster, 1814.
Tonight, American and South Vietnamese units will attack the headquarters for the entire communist military operation in South Vietnam. This key control center has been occupied by the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong for 5 years in blatant violation of Cambodia's neutrality. This is not an invasion of Cambodia.
Nor is it, sir, for the defense of his own house and home that he who is the subject of military draft is to perform the task allotted to him. You will put him upon a service equally foreign to his interests and abhorrent to his feelings. With his aid, you are to push the purpose of conquest. The battles which he is to fight are the battles of invasion.
Daniel Webster,
This is not an invasion of Cambodia.
1814.
The pilot's playing poker in the cockpit of the plane. The casualties are rising like the dropping of the rain. And a mountain of machinery will fall before a man when your white boots marching in a yellow land. It's written in the ashes of the village towns we burn. It's written in the empty beds of fathers unreturned. And the chocolate in the children's eyes will never understand when your white boots marching in a yellow land. Red blow the bugles of the dawn. The morning has arrived, you must be gone. And the lost patrol chase their chartered souls like old horse following tired army. Train them well, the men who will be fighting by your side, and never turn your back if the battle turns the tide. For the colors of a civil war are louder than command when your white boots marching in a yellow land. Blow them from the forest and burn them from your side. Tie their hands behind their backs and question through the night. But when the firing squad is ready, they'll be spitting where they stand at the white boots marching in a yellow land. Red blow the bugles of the dawn. The morning has arrived, you must be gone. And the lost patrol chase their chartered souls like old horse following tired army. The comic and the beauty queen are dancing on the stage. Raw recruits are lining up like coffins in a cage. Oh, we're fighting in a war we lost before the war began. We're the white boots marching in a yellow land. And the lost patrol chase their chartered souls like old horse following tired army.
We are not a weak people. We are a strong people. America has never been defeated in the proud 190-year history of this country, and we shall not be defeated in Vietnam.
There is still another influence which stimulates war, and interferes with the natural attractions of peace. I refer to a selfish and exaggerated love of country, leading to its physical aggrandizement and political exaltation at the expense of other countries. And in disregard of the principles of true greatness, men are taught to live not for mankind, but only for a small portion of mankind. The pride, vanity, ambition, brutality even, which we rebuke in individuals, are accounted virtues when displayed in the name of country.
Charles Sumner, United States Senator, 1845.
I would rather be a one-term president and do what I believed was right than to be a two-term president at the cost of seeing America become a second-rate power and to see this nation accept the first defeat in its proud 190-year history.
Guard against the postures of pretended patriotism.
George Washington, 1796.
The sun lies in the field. Someone has killed some other son today. Head blown up by some soldier's gun, while all the mothers stand and wait. Some other son ain't coming home today. Some other son ain't got no grave. Two soldiers fighting in a trench. One soldier glances up to see the sun and dreams of games he played when he was young. And then his friend calls out his name. It stops his dreams, and as he turns his head, a second later he is dead. Some other son lies in a field. Back home they put his picture in the frame, but all dead soldiers look the same, while all the parents stand and wait to meet their children coming home from school. Some other son is lying dead. Somewhere, someone is crying. Someone is trying to be so brave, but still the world keeps turning. Though all the children have gone away. Some other son lies in a field, but in his mother's eyes he looks the same as on the day he went away. They put his picture on the wall. They put the flowers in the picture frame. Some mother's memory
John Brown went off to war to fight on a foreign shore. His mother sure is proud of him. He stood so straight and tall in his uniform and all. His mother's face broke out all in a grin. Oh, son, you look so fine. I'm glad you're a son of mine. You make me proud to know you hold a gun. Do what the captain says, lots of medals you will get, and we'll put 'em on the wall when you come home. When that old train pulled out, John's ma began to shout, telling everyone in the neighborhood, that's my son that's about to go. He's a soldier now, you know. She made well sure her neighbors understood. She got a letter once in a while, and her face broke into a smile as she showed him to the people from next door. And she bragged about her son with his uniform and gun in this thing she called a good old-fashioned war. Lord, Lord, good old-fashioned war. And the letters ceased to come for a long time. They did not come. They ceased to come for about 9 months or more. Then a letter finally came saying, go down and meet the train. Your sons are coming home from the war. She smiled and went right down. She looked up and all around, but she did not see her soldier son in sight. But as all the people passed, she saw her son at last. When she did, she could hardly believe her eyes. His face was all shot up, and his hands were both blown off, and he wore a metal brace around his waist. He whispered kind of slow in a voice she did not know, while she could not even recognize his face. Oh, tell me, my darling son, pray tell me what they've done. How is it that you've come to be this way? He tried his best to talk, as his mouth could hardly move, and his mother had to turn her head away. Don't you remember, Ma, when I went off to war? You thought it was the best thing I could do. I was on the battleground, you were home acting proud. Thank God you wasn't standing in my shoes. Lord, I thought when I was there, God, what am I doing here? I'm trying to kill somebody or die trying. But the thing that scared me most is when my enemy came close and I saw that his face looked just like mine. Lord, Lord, just like mine. And through, and I could not help but think, through the thunder rolling stink, that I was just a puppet in a play. And through the roaring smoke, the string it finally broke, and a cannonball, it blew my eyes away. As he turned away to walk, his ma was still in shock, seeing the metal brace that helped him stand. But as he turned to go, he called his mother close, and he dropped his medals down into her hand. Lord, Lord, down to her hand.
When men write the history of this nation, they will record that no people in the annals of time made greater sacrifices in a more selfless cause than the American people sacrificed for the right of 18 million people in a faraway land to avoid the imposition of communist rule against their will, and for the right of those people to determine their own future free of outside interference.
We Americans have no commission from God to police the world.
Benjamin Harrison, 1888.
KXYZ-FM Houston. The music from Stereo 96.5.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
As revolutions have begun, it is natural to expect that other revolutions will follow.
Thomas Paine, 1791.
sing for a rock and roll band. 'Cause the sleeping London town, there's just no place for stick-bodied man. No.
People anywhere being inclined and having the power have the right to rise up and shake off the existing government and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable and sacred right, a right we hope and believe is to liberate the world.
Abraham Lincoln, 1848.
One generation got old, one generation got sold. This generation got no destination to hold. Pick up your pride, and now it's time for you and me. Got a revolution, got the revolution. Hey, come on now, we're marching to the sea. Got a revolution, got the revolution. Who's they from? We will do we. Well, we are volunteers of America, volunteers of America, volunteers of America. Volunteers of America. Wisconsin up the streets, got a revolution, got the revolution. Hey, I'm dancing down the street, got a revolution, got the revolution. Ain't it amazing on people I meet? Got a revolution. We are volunteers of America. Oh, yeah, we are volunteers of America. We are volunteers of America. Volunteers of America. Volunteers of America. Volunteers of America.
It is an observation of one of the profoundest inquiries into human affairs that a revolution of government is the strongest proof that can be given by a people of their virtue and good sense.
John Adams.
Some say that we should withdraw from South Vietnam. This alternative is strategically unwise, we think, and it's morally unthinkable.
I could only conclude that the precipitate withdrawal of all American forces from Vietnam would be a disaster not only for South Vietnam, but for the United States and for the cause of peace.
Some others are eager to enlarge the conflict. They call upon us to supply American boys to do the job that Asian boys should do. They ask us to take reckless action, which might risk the lives of millions and engulf much of Asia, and certainly threaten the peace of the entire world.
We take this action not for the purpose of expanding the war into Cambodia, but for the purpose of ending the war in Vietnam and winning the just peace we all desire.
I got a letter from LBJ. It said, "This is your lucky day. It's time to put your khaki trousers on. Though it may seem very clear we've got no job to give you here, so we are sending you to Vietnam." Lyndon Johnson told the nation, "Have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese." I jumped off the old troop ship and sank in mud up to my hips. I cussed until the captain called me down. Never mind how hard it's raining, think of all the ground we're gaining. Just don't take one step outside of town. Lyndon Johnson told the nation, "Have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese." Every night the local gentry slip out past the sleeping sentry. They go out to join the old VC. In their nightly little dramas, they put on their black pajamas and come lobbing mortar shells at me. But Lyndon Johnson told the nation, "Have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese." We'd go around in helicopters like a bunch of big grasshoppers, searching for the Viet Cong in vain. They left the note that they had gone. They had to get down to Saigon, their government positions to maintain. And Lyndon Johnson told the nation, "Have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese." Well, here I sit in this rice paddy, wondering about Big Daddy, and I know that Lyndon loves me so. Yet how sadly I remember way back yonder in November when he said I'd never have to go. But Lyndon Johnson told the nation, "Have no fear of escalation. I am trying everyone to please. Though it isn't really war, we're sending 50,000 more to help save Vietnam from Vietnamese."
God forbid we should ever be 20 years without a rebellion.
Thomas Jefferson, 1787.
KXYZ-FM Houston, 24-hour love radio from Stereo 96.5.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, self-evident, self-evident.
Every age and generation must be as free to act for itself in all cases as the ages and generation which preceded it. Man has no property in man, neither has any generation a property in the generations which are to follow.
Thomas Paine, 1776.
You know, you see these bums, blowing up the campuses.
An effete core of impudent snobs who characterize themselves as intellectuals.
You know, you see these bums, blowing up the campuses.
Office. If I allowed the policy of this nation to be dictated by the minority who hold that point of view and who try to impose it on the nation by mounting demonstrations in the street. If a vocal minority, however fervent its cause, prevails over reason and the will of the majority, this nation has no future as a free society.
If by the mere force of numbers a majority should deprive a minority of any clearly written constitutional rights, it might, in a moral point of view, justify revolution. Certainly would if such a right were a vital one.
Abraham Lincoln, 1861.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived or so dedicated can long endure. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.
Abraham Lincoln, 1863.
As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Well, I roamed and I rambled and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, while all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Well, the sun came shining and I was strolling, the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling. The fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, 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 self-evident.
On a bright, murky Tuesday dawning, o'er all those mountain crowns, come a young captain swinging softly, laying truth down on all the towns. And the people come a digging his gentle lick, while the fuzz stood around and frowned. And the church was aghast at this blasphemy, said we got to put this cat down. But you may not know he's been there till a long time after he's gone. Yeah, the church said, you know, we stand for truth, but we got to be organized. We got money in the pocket, anybody don't like it can be excommunicized. And you can't buy back a single soul if it lost and knows the was a size. And he didn't believe money or political power could be seen in the God's great eyes. But you may not know he's been there till a long time after he's gone. Yeah, and this was a mirror of a lovely life while he went around hearing sounds. People talking this, people talking that, saying we're based upon these grounds. But you could tell he was thinking of other folks, people living in far-off mounds. People who'd never seen a movie or nothing while the buzz stood around and frowned. But you may not know it's been there till a long time after it's gone. So he was here a few weeks and spread his good word. Said looking inside is right, 'cause the inside is where you'll find your freedom, your happiness and your sight. Then the power party went and found the pond with the rifle, said put him into your sight. And the man went out and he found his mark and he turned off his lovely light. Yeah, so when you're walking in the evening, you awaken to a lovely dawn, or you run around telling people what to do, or just out to cut your lawn, or you're going to build a mighty bridge, or write out a lovely song. Remember that the word goes on, and forever is mighty long. Yeah, remember that the word goes on, and forever is mighty long. But you may not know it's been there till a long time after it's gone.
This is 24-hour Love Radio, KXYZ-FM Houston, stereo 96 and a half.
This is Al Adel in New York with news from American FM Radio. The stars fell over Washington tonight as a constant parade of show business talent entertained a crowd at the Honor America Day rally in front of the Lincoln Memorial. Our Washington Bureau estimates 200,000 people were on hand. One of the entertainers to get a big reception, Red Skelton. After some jokes, Skelton turned serious with a tribute to the Pledge of Allegiance, at the end of which he said,
"Since I was a small boy, 2 states have been added to our country. and 2 words have been added to the Pledge of Allegiance, under God. Wouldn't it be a pity if someone said that is a prayer and that be eliminated from our schools too?
A hand for Red Skelton at the Honor America Day celebration in Washington. The show concluded with Fred Waring and the Pennsylvanians. End of Honor America Day in Washington with the traditional fireworks. More news in a moment from American FM Radio, New York.
Take 5 young people from every country in the world, bring them all to New York, and let them rap together on all the problems of the world. That's what the United Nations is hoping to do as the highlight of their 25th anniversary celebration. The World Youth Assembly. Great idea. But they're having trouble rounding up the cash for air travel, accommodations, food expenses. And while several countries are contributing, the UN doesn't have a third of what they need to bring those young people together. Michael Butler, producer of Hair, has offered to help, but they still need more. So they're making one last appeal, not to countries or to governments, but to individuals, to you, to young people, to help the UN's World Youth Assembly come true. $2 from you is what they need. That's it, $2. Wrap it and send it to Youth Wrap, Post Office Box 600, General Post Office, New York, New York, 117. Send $2 today for a World Wrap. Not a bad investment. After all, something may come of it.
Officials in Russell's Point, Ohio, are asking for help from the National Guard tonight. Hundreds of young people said to be out of control in the resort area in western Ohio. Police in Russell's Point using tear gas to break up crowds, throwing rocks and firecrackers. Senator Charles Percy says he's speaking for President Nixon. That's when he met with leaders of France and Germany in Bonn today. Senator Percy said he told them that France and Germany must pay more for the support of American troops in Europe or watch them leave. France and Germany say they'll work closer on defense matters. President Nixon spent part of this Independence Day meeting with his new ambassador to the Paris peace talks, David K.E. Bruce. After the meeting, Ambassador Bruce said he would be overjoyed to make any contribution he can to get progress in the Paris peace talks. California back in the money. Governor Reagan today signed a new $6.5 billion budget. Senate Democrats in California held out for 4 days before approving the budget. An American military intelligence advisor feels a nuclear war is building up between Russia and Red China. But Dr. Stefan Pozsony told the Senate Internal Subcommittee in testimony that Red China may try to ease pressure between the two countries by hitting American military positions in South Vietnam with atomic attacks. This is news from American FM Radio. Robert Kemp Jr. of Baltimore is 13 years old. Young Kemp's been away from home for the past 15 days, but his parents haven't worried too much. Bob Kemp has spent those days riding a Ferris wheel at an amusement park in a Baltimore suburb. Bob got off the Ferris wheel today, a happy young boy. He set a new world's record of staying on the ride for 15 days. During that time, he went through 4 thunderstorms. At night when the park was closed, Bob slept in his gondola. Food was delivered to him. During his circular trips, he was kept amused by listening to the radio. He wanted to keep going, but Dad said the ride was over. A special tribute in London today for Louis Satchmo Armstrong's 70th birthday. 2 trumpeters from the British Royal Philharmonic Orchestra played a piece especially written in honor of Armstrong by conductor Malcolm Arnold. Louis Armstrong celebrated his birthday in Los Angeles. From New York, this is Al Adel, and this has been news from the American FM Radio Network. Good night.
This is KXYZ-FM Houston, stereo 96.5.
Name of the game, light my fire.
You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be a liar if I was to say to you, hey girl, we couldn't get much higher. So come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire. The time for hesitation is through. There's no time to while away the fire. Darling, we could only lose, and our love become a funeral pyre. So come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire.
Music's in your city too. Music's getting good to me. But now don't you, I said don't you wanna get higher? Yeah, don't you wanna get higher? Baby, baby, let me light your fire. Oh, high, little bit higher. Boom, shaka, boom, boom, boom. Come on, baby, higher. Don't you wanna get higher? Oh yeah, higher. Light your fire. Come on, get higher. A little bit higher. I wanna light your fire. Wow. Boom, shaka, boom, boom. Beat is here to make you move. Music's here to help you groove. Music's sounding good to me. Take your places. I'm gonna take you higher. Higher. Wanna take you higher. Higher. A little bit higher. Come on, get higher. A little bit higher. Higher.
took it, darling, and you tore it apart. You left me sitting in the dark crying. You said your love for me was dying. I'm begging you, baby, baby, please. I'm begging you, baby, baby, please. Turn on the light, let it shine on me. Turn on your love light, let it shine on me. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. I get a little lonely in the middle of the night. I need you, darling, to make things alright. Come on, baby.